Did you know there is a place for darkness? Thank you for joining me here today. This is Bora Bliss. Most of the time, we seem to focus on the light, and rightfully so. The light is beautiful. It's mesmerizing and it's captivating. It attracts, and sometimes its brightness can be blinding. It feels inviting and welcoming. It is warm and it feels cozy. Sometimes you don't feel like you want to leave its dazzling presence. We are surrounded by light, and most of nature gravitates towards the light. The light has been compared to life, and they are both synonymous with each other. So we say life for light and light for life. So they complement each other. But if you look at our world and the very basic construct of nature and the process through which everything lives and operates in the world, you will find another vital, important ingredient in the mix. And that is nothing else or none other than darkness. Darkness seems dull, boring, uninviting, scary, unknown, and mysterious. In the Chinese worldview, it is the aspect of God called the yin. More specifically, it's the feminine aspect of God, which is considered to be the dark or the opposite of the light. With these things in mind, one begins to see why darkness is often misunderstood, and its importance is minimized and unrecognized. Whether we like it or not, darkness plays a very, very vital role in the world as we know it. Some ways in which we see darkness at work is within the daily cycle of time. So, like in the nighttime, um, when our bodies and minds are naturally attuned to rest and sleep, so it can heal and be recalibrated to successfully continue our life on Earth. At this time, the moon comes out, and we also see the stars. They grace the clouds in the dark. Now, imagine a world where only light shone, and just light was shining all through for 24/7. Like there was no break, there was no time when the darkness had to come out, and it was only the sun and the light. I mean, in our current state, we'll go out of our minds. We'll lose it. Okay? Um, and then I also know, like in the book of Revelation, um, we are told that there'll be, like in the new heaven or so, or in the new city that's going to be built, there'll be no need for the sun, and that there'll be no darkness, and that God's presence will light up the entire city. But again, I'm not sure how that will play out because number one, we see another verse in Revelation 22:2 where it says that the healing trees will bear a new fruit each month. So um, if there is no moon cycle, um, because there's only light and there'll never be darkness, there'll never be night time. So how do we measure the time period of a month? Because we know that the monthly cycle is determined by the moon, and the moon only comes out at night, not during the day. And then secondly, the tree of life is planted on some type of soil. It's not floating in the light or light structure. Its roots are securely held and supported in the dark. So, I mean, from my own observation, just these two instances makes me believe that there will be still some type of darkness at work. For darkness not to exist, the whole world, I mean the whole world, must cease to exist. Because the entirety of creation was made and depends on the cycle of light and darkness. It depends on the cycle of life and death. It depends on the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Okay, so we also see the darkness at play in the conception and growth of life in the womb of a woman. A womb is a dark place, and from this place, a child is conceived, and not only conceived but nurtured. That's where its life is supported, and until it is time to be born into the world. And then another place where we see the dark at work is in the growing of plants and vegetative life. A seed is usually planted in the dark of the earth, and the earth acts as a womb through which the plant is supported and nurtured until it is time for it to come out of the earth. I mean, the roots are still there, but the stems and the leaves and all of those other parts of the plant are now visible and start growing out in the light for everybody to see until it becomes a mighty tree, and then the fruits and all of that. But that will not be possible without the dark earth. The dark of the earth provides the right environment through which a new plant life emerges, and it takes roots there. And as the plant shoots out of the ground, the roots are forever held, supported, and fed in the dark of the earth. The darkness is also a home for and provides the perfect life conditions for certain life forms. There are some beings, some creations, or other forms of creation or creatures who only operate at night. That's when they come out to eat. That's when they leave. That's when they hunt for their prey. That's their own day, basically. During the day they're sleeping, and at night that's when they become active. And the dark provides for their existence. So without the darkness, they would die out. And then even when we look at the waters, or in the waters, in the deepest parts of the water, it's surrounded by nothing else but darkness. You don't find light in the deepest parts of the water. It's just darkness. And then for most of humanity, when we die, we get buried in the dark earth. So this highlights the fact that as humans, we start our journey in this vehicle called the body in the dark. And then in the end, the dark receives our bodies again. I mean, even if you get cremated, you're still surrounded by darkness. So even, and then if you go further, we as human beings as well, we have aspect of our beings, aspect of our souls that is that is rooted in the dark. And some of us would call this part of us the subconscious. And this acts as the root and cause support through which we navigate and move through life. Also, it's quite interesting to consider that in the creation story in the Bible, we are not told that darkness was created. It just was there, just like the waters. And like I consider the water to be a mystery. It's mysterious. And that's how darkness is. And from the darkness, light was made and separated from the darkness. Now, these are like physical things that we can see and notice all around, and I'm sure that you can find more instances of darkness playing an important role in our world. Now, when we go past the physical things that we can see, um, we normally tend, or we, just like I said in the beginning, that we that life and light are synonymous. So we call good things light and life, then we call the bad things darkness and death. So when good things happen to us, we feel, oh yeah, this is life or this is light. Um, and then I this is what I believe. I believe we're beings of light. Hence, we love the light and we naturally gravitate towards the light. Um, and we also see this um, um, work work out with the plants. For example, you put a plant in a place where there's both light and dark, and what begins to happen is that this plant begins to to move, to grow towards the light. It's a very interesting thing to see, but that's what happens. Um, so we naturally love the light, and we're drawn to it. We gravitate towards it. That's not to say that there are not other beings out there that gravitate towards darkness, and I'll call these beings the dark beings. They gravitate towards the darkness and they avoid the light. But again, this does not mean that um, darkness is not an important part of our lives. It's very important. It's very crucial for our world and our ecosystem and what makes us human. Um, Darkness, from what I can see, darkness has been given a very important role. It's been given a very important role in the basic core structure and setup of our present world. Our world and our entire ecosystem, everything as we know it, will not exist if there was no darkness. And then when you come to our lives, in our lives and in the world, we see darkness everywhere. Darkness is an excellent tool to help us face our fears. It's an excellent training ground where we are tested and tried. The darkness tells us if truly we walk in the light. The darkness enables us to change by allowing certain aspects of us to die and be reborn. Hence, the way we change and grow is the darkness that brings about this whole process of changing, of dying, of being reborn. The darkness allows us to be challenged outside of our comfort zone. I consider it to be a stretching tool. It's used to expand our consciousness. In the dark, we are forced to face our deepest fears, something that many of us, unfortunately, are not eager or ready to do. But it is very necessary for our personal growth and development, both inwardly and outwardly. Even in our bodies, like inside of our bodies, millions of cells die out daily, and hopefully the bad ones, to enable us to continue staying healthy. But again, even if I say, oh, the bad ones, I say that because they're no longer serving their purpose, and they're weak. So I mean, death happens even inside of us every day. Death happens. Um, So with that in mind, I consider the darkness to it acts as a purging tool. Okay, it helps to take out the things that are no longer important and that no longer serve our highest good. So now consider with me, for a minute, the process of life and death happening in our bodies. We're still alive, like on a big scale in our bodies, we're still alive, but then we have little parts of us that are constantly dying and being reborn and being replaced. Okay, and the death of those cells, hopefully the bad ones, um, they're not affecting us, like they're not stopping us from living. We still continue to live and grow and expand. So the problem comes when it's the good ones who are dying. I mean, in this body. So, I mean, the way our body is made up right now, the process going on. So, but imagine with me, this process going on inside of us happening on a bigger scale around all of nature. And like I mentioned in a previous video of mine titled The Dance of Duality, I did mention that man is a physical and moving aspect of nature, and everything that happens or exists in man is also found in the earth, is found in nature. So, if that is the case, it's only natural that the earth will constantly purge itself to make room for more growth and expansion, which is life. Uh, so, just like we have little cells dying inside of us every day, making room for new cells, new, healthier, stronger cells, the same way the earth is also being purged. So the beings who are not serving the purpose of the earth on a grand scale, or the universe or the earth, who are not serving it positively on a grand scale, will end up being purged out. They're going to be purged out. So we see this every day. All kinds of beings, humans, animals, whatever, they die out. Okay. um and they give room for more growth, they give room for more expansion. So with that in mind, life and light cannot be fully expressed, enjoyed, and appreciated without darkness doing its work. So darkness must work for full life to be expressed and to be appreciated and to be enjoyed. Darkness has to be doing its thing. um Again, we see this whole thing, like for example, with the planting of a seed. Okay, where do you plant the seed? Most of the time, we plant the seed in the earth, in the dark earth. And then what happens? Death has to occur. That seed has to die for many more fruits to be born. Okay, so for example, if we took out death out of the equation, or darkness out of the equation, um, and we say, okay, we only want life, which means the seed will not die. And if the seed does not die, then there will be no multiplication of life, there will be no expansion of life, there will be no extra fruits for anybody, because just that one is there. But if that one dies, now we have many more fruits, for like many more fruits to enjoy, and that's just from one tree. So that's just one example. So we see this at play in almost everything, right? Something has to die, something has to be given up for more to be enjoyed. And that is darkness. Darkness and death are synonymous with each other. And without them, or without it, our world cannot be what it is. Life cannot be expanded. And ultimately, we want life to expand, but darkness and death has to do something. They have to do their work for us to be able to enjoy life. So it's like you can't have one without the other. We need both. So the darkness may not be decked out in glory and grandiose extravagance. We might not sing its praises all day long, but we cannot deny its place in our lives. Sometimes in our lives, in as much as we want only good things to happen, but what ends up happening is that bad things, which is synonymous with darkness and death, also happens. But then this darkness leads us to a better place. It leads us to a place of great light and glory, where we rejoice. And oftentimes we sometimes forget the darkness that led us to this great light of glory. Um, so just like the example I gave with the death of a seed to be able to produce many, many more fruits because new life is reborn from that dead seed. So we find this even in our personal lives. A lot of times bad things happen and we're so, I mean, at the time it's happening, we're miserable with ourselves. We're like, please take this thing away. Please, darkness, go away. Death, go away. I hate you. I don't want you. But then if we're able to endure the course of the dying process or the ugly situation, whatever it is that is draining, that seems to be draining the life out of us, if we're able to endure and come out on the other side, you find out that you come out a better person. You come out more glorious. You come out more joyful and more happy and having more appreciation for life, with a deeper understanding for life and why things happen. Okay, so a lot of times that's how it happens, but you would not have gotten there if that darkness had not come and done its work in your life. So at this point, I would encourage you to look at all the ways darkness has shown itself in your life, both physically and inwardly. And I would want you to consider what it's been like. Have you ever shown appreciation and gratitude to or for this important aspect of our being and existence? Or do you still constantly fight against it and you loathe it, like you hate it? You know, like, please get away from me, I don't want you, things like that. Um, I'm sure you always show gratitude for the light and the good things that happen in your life. But have you ever taken the time to also show gratitude for the darkness? Because it's the light and darkness in equilibrium, in balance, that makes us who we are. They both work together to shape us. They both work together to help us enjoy life, to help us grow, to help us mature, to help us um, be more fruitful and to expand in life. Um, so they both have their place and they're equally important in the roles that they play in the world, both inwardly and outwardly. So today I'll close out this segment by quoting a man called Terry Pratchett. I hope I'm not butchering that name, but yeah, that's his name, Terry Pratchett. It's an excellent quote that I believe is worth contemplating about, and it goes like this: light travels, no, sorry, excuse me, I'm going to repeat that again. It says, light thinks it travels faster than anything else, but it is wrong. No matter how fast light travels, it finds the darkness has always gotten there first and is waiting for it. Say that again. Light thinks it travels faster than anything, but it is wrong. No matter how fast light travels, it finds the darkness has always got there first and is waiting for it. Once again, I want to say thank you for joining me here today. It's been an interesting topic. One I know a lot of people really don't want to talk about, but I think it's crucial for us to talk about it, and hopefully this will be able to spur more conversations and also increase our appreciation for life and for the things that happen, both good and bad, and also give us a better understanding of life, the life that we live, and the things that happen. So, again, I want to say thank you for joining me here today. Stay safe, stay strong, and God bless you. Until next time, peace.